It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Car con carne. Tonight, sponsored by Siren Records McHenry, now offering curbside pickup and online ordering. Check out their new website at sirenrecordsmchenry.com. If you're in a band, if you own a label, if you want to get your product in a store, message Siren Records on social media or call the store. Siren Records McHenry, always looking to support local music, as am I. Car con Carne also sponsored tonight by C&H Financial Services. So in my description of tonight's show, I said, if you like your music bleak, and I do, Tim Larson's your guy. Hi, Tim.
That's great.
That's it. Well, okay, let me just frame this appropriately. I get a press release a couple weeks ago saying Tim Larson to release a pair of bleak folk singles from new album. I love that the word bleak is a selling point. I don't think I've ever seen that as a headline that is meant to draw people in.
Right. Like, especially now, like your pandemic's going on, everyone's inside, things are very dark, and it's like, hey, guess what? It's just going to get a little darker.
So you're releasing 2 songs at a time through September 18th. It's like this staggered release for this release, which will be called Flickering Headlights Lead the Way, which is also one of the 2 songs you just released. I'm going to play one of those songs Sunday night on my radio show, Demo 312. And listening to it, I mean, I'm not wrong to envision myself on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night, with tumbleweeds rolling by. Am I? I mean, that's the scene I envision as I listen to that song.
I mean, that's pretty much how I wrote it too. Driving in Texas, actually, in the middle of the night. Right.
There it is.
Yeah.
Well, you captured the vibe perfectly, and you have a certain knack of letting the music tell the story along with your lyrics and voice. The songs, these 2 songs, The Field Where I Watched You Ride, Flickering Headlights Lead the Way, these have been bouncing around your head, or just they've been bouncing around for a few years, right? You wrote these a while back.
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of songs in 2015, and it wasn't like the world's greatest year for me. So one of my best friends is an old bandmate of mine named Dave Callahan. And Dave and I sort of bounce back and forth because he lives in Uppsala, Sweden. So I'll go play shows there, and then he'll come play shows here. And I had these songs, and I was talking to him about them, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could like sing this stuff. And he's like, well, play some of them for me. So I did. And he was like, you got to change the words to this stuff, man. He's like, you can't do this. It's like he's like, you need to make it a little bit less vicious, and just, go home and think about them. So I did, and I kept the music and sort of started to reframe the words a little bit. And I did that, that's Flickering Headlights Illuminate the Way. But the song, The Field Where I Watched You Ride, is great. I had it for 15 years. And
it's just now seeing the light of day.
Yes. Dave and I, with his wife, had a band called Strobe Alliance for a little bit. And it was sort of like a weird kind of hippie folk rock band. And we were having a rehearsal one day, and he was like, you have any new songs? And I said, yeah, man, I have this song. And he's like, well, play it for me. And so I played him the music, and he was like, do you have any words? And I was like, yeah, I have like 2 lines, but I have a title. And he's like, well, what's the title? And I was like, it's called The Field Where I Watched You Die. He said, no, absolutely not. No. He was like, there's no way you would ever say that in conversation. So no, you're going to change that. And I was like, okay, what am I changing it to? And he was like, you're going to change it to The Field Where I Watched You Ride. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can get down with that,
The Field Where I Watched You Die. You are a dark dude.
He was like, you don't even listen to metal. What's your problem? I'm like, I don't know, man. So I had that, and I could never really get it together. And it was always like in the back of my mind, okay, I like the music. I really like the opening line. And then like the whole thing came to me in a dream last fall. And that's not even a joke. Like I got up and wrote it down, and that's the song. And I wrote him, I emailed him when I finished it, and I was like, Dave, I finished that song. He was like, that one from 15 years ago, you finally finished it? I was like, yeah, man.
You're deliberate.
Yeah,
You get it done.
he's
You're
like,
thorough.
good. Glad you finished it.
So what's the strategy here? Do you not have these songs finished? Are you finishing them as you go, or are they done and you're just staggering them through September?
They're finished, and I'm just staggering them. I kind of feel like at this stage, especially where we are now, it's best in small increments. Here's 2 songs, add them to your playlist, listen to them, enjoy the 2, and then, in a couple weeks I'll come out with another 2. Then a couple weeks later I'll come out with another 2, and then you could slowly work yourself into it. It's a pretty dark record, so it's like it's better in small increments.
Well, that's good show business strategy right there. Leave them wanting more. They hear 2 songs, they want more.
Yeah,
gotta wait 30 days.
Gotta wait.
Those are the rules.
Yeah.
So you recorded these songs. I love just the idea of this. You recorded in various locations, by the Chicago River, in a barn in Wisconsin, on your back porch, different places that certainly give different vibes to the recording session and to you as a musician.
Oh, absolutely. So Isotope makes this thing called a Spire. Actually, here it is. It's right here. You can see it. It's this thing right here.
Okay, that's cool.
It's like the modern day cassette 4-track, but it records Bluetooth to your phone. And I was kind of skeptical about Bluetooth.
Wait, hold it up again. That's so Star Trek. That's so cool.
I know, right? It's great. Look at it. It's so small, and like it has like 16 gig memory just on the device itself, and then it records to your phone. It's so great.
Yeah.
And I was super excited to have it, and the recording quality is fantastic on it. Like I tell people now, man, like if I can give you any recommendation for gear, get one of those. It's like the best money you'll spend, and they're not too expensive either.
And highly portable.
Yeah, totally. And so I like the idea of being in a certain place and you like the sounds and just record there. It doesn't have to be at an expensive studio, or, you don't have to set up a super expensive studio at your house. I mean, you take one of these things and get a nice recording and then bring the tracks in and do what you want with them. And that's kind of what I did, And
that's the secret, isn't it? I mean, the rules are different. I mean,
oh yeah,
people are more forgiving. You don't have to have that super high gloss production. Authenticity is every bit as important.
Yeah, especially for me too. Like I don't think anyone goes into listening to my songs and they're like, this is going to be some sort of, sonic, new experience. It's like, I'm not, I can play synthesizer, but I'm not really that good at it. So, you get, you get your acoustic guitars and a little bit of vibe, I kind of like that.
Let's talk a little Tim Larson history. You played for a while in the Drovers, which, if people don't know, long-running Celtic rock band in Chicago. When did you start playing with them?
I started in '97. They got me kind of out of high school, and it was I kind of stalked my way into the band. I took violin lessons from the violin player, and then I became their intern. And they were looking for another guitar player one day, and they were like, do you know our songs? And I was like, yeah, I know them. And they're like, all right, great, you're in the band. So
right place, right
cool.
time.
Yeah, totally. I joined after they were in those movies, Blink and Backdraft. It was
right. But still, you got some of the afterglow there. You're there for the afterglow years.
It was really cool. Like people have a college experience, like you go off to college and, you meet a bunch of people and figure out who you are. Well, I commuted to college. I went to UIC and I grew up in Bridgeport. So my college experience was touring with the Drovers, and being around a bunch of art weirdos all the time. It was great.
That is fantastic. So let's go back to the darkness that is you, Tim Larson.
Oh,
a lot of people who write dark subject matter do it just because it's a catharsis in their everyday life. They're living life like, a Tom Hanks movie, a happy-go-lucky type lifestyle. Other people who write dark lyrics are legitimately dark AF, as the kids say, in their daily lives. Where do you fall? Are you generally dark, or is this just a release?
This is a release. It's a release. It's like instead of having to spend a bunch of money on therapy, I just write songs, and and once it's out, then it's out. you know, I try not to dwell on them too much. You know, I had put out a record in 2011 that was about the downfall of the economy, and it was really like a tough record to play for a long time. It was just
I'm just glad everything's better now.
Yeah, that's better now. Right? But yeah, it's a release for me more than anything else. You know, I try not to be a dark person generally because I don't know, that's not really fun to hang out with. I don't know. Misery
I completely get it.
Doesn't enjoy the misery.
I completely get it. I mean, what I create isn't dark. It's a podcast, for God's sakes. But recreationally, I love horror. I love all manner of horror movies, horror concepts. Dark stuff doesn't faze me. And I get asked a similar question, like, how can you watch that? Are you okay? But it's a release. This is just how I let go.
Yeah, Emmylou Harris has a great quote, and it's this. She said, "I can play happy songs. I just prefer the sad ones." And I'm like, that's fantastic, right? It's great.
Well, all right. So let's talk about that Slab of Darkness you put out in 2014 then.
Oh, okay.
The album Vargar. Very dramatic sounding stuff. And I mentioned earlier how you use music to help tell the story. There's a song on that album, Dark Outside. It just bashes around. It's this restless song. And the angst that I feel comes from the music more than anything else, the arrangement of the song.
Yeah, it was me trying to update Chicago blues, honestly, for like a darker scene. And the drummer on it he's a phenomenal musician, and he really, really, really brought out the vibe of that. I mean, he's a great musician, and he just really is. His name is Ryan Durden, and like he just got it. You know, he just bashed it out, and I didn't want to get too, you know, like one thing I really don't like is like super long guitar solos or anything like that. It's, you know, keep it simple, keep it chaotic, and just, you know, that's probably enough. You know, it's dark, it's weird. It was about the end of a relationship, so there you got. I mean, it's got it all there.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. So moving forward with you, Tim Larson, 2 songs are out. They're streamable. We can enjoy them wherever. Flickering Headlights Lead the Way. The Field Where I Watched You Ride, not die.
Right.
You can listen to those. And then every month through September, we get new stuff from you. It's this giving us just enough to pull us through to the next month. You're threading us along.
Yeah. The next song, the next two, this one song is called Whisper Your Name, and the other one is called Are You Real? And Whisper Your Name is kind of bluesy, kind of Swansea. Are You Real is kind of like a David Lynch movie. So I
believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that is something that would come from you.
Yeah.
Sonically.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, I'm pretty excited. When I was recording a lot of this stuff, I wanted to have like a different, I do this a lot sometimes. I like to write music on an instrument that I don't play. So I'll like buy like a cheap instrument and be like, okay, well, I'm going to write this song on lap steel guitar. So here's how it's going to go. Or like, I'll start on a drum machine, or like I'll create a loop from, I like to do field recording. So I'll like do some, especially, and like I do road construction. It's like the best field recording. So I'll like create a loop and be like, okay, well, this is how the song, I'm going to use this to create the song. And, you know, I just sort of go from there and see where it goes. You know, I like it. It's a weird way of doing things than sitting down and being like, okay, well, I'm just going to chunk out some, you know, cowboy chords on the acoustic guitar.
I love your sound. I hate trying to categorize it, but there's Americana, there's goth, there's country, there's blues. It's all present if you dig enough in there. It's American music, really.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I want to thank, we've been on Facebook Live as we've been recording. I want to thank Pilot Pete, Chris, Natalie, Dan, Maxton, Stephanie, Amy, Michael, Lauren, Mark, Jim, Glenn, and Denise for all watching. I appreciate that. Pablo, who also just joined. I am going to stop the Facebook Live. Thank you for watching there if you have been watching. And
Thank you.
There we go. That's it. Thank you for doing this.
No problem.